I never believed one decision could destroy an entire future until the day I watched Amara walk out of my life without turning back. If you're listening to this, stay with me, because what happened next still breaks me in ways I cannot explain. Before we continue, make sure you follow this channel. This story will stay with you. Amara was the kind of woman whose presence softened everything. Her voice, her smile, even the way she looked at me like I was the only person who mattered. But I ruined it all, slowly, carelessly, and without understanding what I was losing. I was so caught up in the hustle, chasing money, validation, even pointless arguments online. I did anything and everything to avoid facing how deeply insecure I truly was. She fought for us. I fought just to be right. The night everything collapsed, she stood by the door holding her bag, tears running down her face in silence. "I'm tired of begging to be loved," she whispered, and then she was gone. The first week without her felt like a strange kind of freedom. The second week brought a wave of confusion. By the third week, the silence in my house was so loud I couldn't sleep anymore. The emptiness she left behind was a physical presence. I started searching for her everywhere: her favorite cafe where she'd read for hours, the park bench where she always sat, the little church where she'd pray in the evenings. Nothing, not a trace. A naive part of me believed she would return. People like Amara, people with so much love to give, they don't just disappear forever, right? If you believe in second chances, hit the like button before you continue. Months crawled by, each one heavier than the last. Then I got a call from a mutual friend. His voice was hesitant. "She moved," he said, "far away. She's doing better now." Better. How could she be better without me? That was the moment reality hit me harder than any heartbreak I'd ever known. I wasn't the hero of her story. I was the storm she had to survive, the reason she had to rebuild her life from scratch. Fueled by a desperate mix of guilt and hope, I traveled to her new city. I spent the entire journey rehearsing my apology, crafting the perfect words to win her back. In my mind, it was a movie scene. I'd say my piece, she'd cry, I'd cry, and we'd find our way back to each other. But when I finally saw her, standing outside a bookstore, smiling and absolutely glowing with a kind of healed energy, I froze. She looked happy, truly happy. When she saw me, she didn't flinch, didn't look angry. She just looked at peace. "Amara," I managed to say, my voice barely a whisper. She smiled gently, a kind, distant smile. "Hi, I hope you're doing well too." That was it, nothing more. Her eyes no longer carried the pain I had caused, but they also no longer carried the love I had once taken for granted. Share this story if you've ever lost someone because you realized too late what they meant to you. "I forgave you," she said softly, sensing the storm of questions in my silence. Not for us, but for me, her words shattered the last piece of my foolish hope. Forgiveness without return, closure without reunion. People think the worst pain is losing someone you love, but the real soul-crushing pain is realizing they healed from a wound that you created. It's knowing they found their peace by leaving you behind. I didn't beg. I didn't cry. I simply nodded because for the very first time, I understood. Sometimes, love's final, most profound gift is letting someone walk into a future where you no longer belong. As she turned and walked away again this time, I didn't chase her. I just stood there and prayed that life would treat her with the kindness that I never gave. I learned far too late that love is not about possession. It is about protection. And I had failed to protect the most precious thing in my life. Subscribe now if you want more stories that hit deep and teach the heart what love really means.